Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Matthew Parker, and I'm the primary developer for the indie studio PillBugGames. Welcome to devlog number 2. I'm excited to share our progress with you. We're currently building a brand new mech game from scratch using Unity. Currently, the game is untitled, and that is a bit of a problem. I've done a bit of brainstorming, and I even wrote a random name generator to help come up with ideas. But no decisions yet, so I'll keep you posted on that front. Plenty of progress has been made over the last month, and I am excited to share it with you. Remember that this game is going to feature a mix between tactical and strategic decision making through a battlefield command system, as well as real-time action-packed combat from mech and vehicle piloting. You won't be limited to just piloting mechs. You'll have the option of piloting tanks, VTOL fightercraft, power armor, and hopefully a lot more once the game is more fully developed. I have a strong vision for the game, and I cannot wait for it to take shape so that you can experience it too. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along on this journey. I'm eager for your feedback, and I would love to hear what things you'd be excited to see in this game. In the previous devlog, I gave myself a list of goals to complete, and you can see here there were a few things that I wanted to accomplish. But you might be wondering, how well did I do? Did I manage to get everything done? Did I get anything done at all? Well, place your bets now. Okay, so did I add a prototype power armor to the game? No, I didn't. Although the 3D model is ready, it's in Blender, I haven't imported it to Unity yet, and I haven't done any of the programming for that. Did I add a prototype tank to the game? No, I didn't even do that. I don't even have the 3D model ready. So that's 2 for 2 not completed. Oof, not looking good. How about if I just quickly cross out everything I didn't do? 50% success rate? Well, that's a passing grade. Okay, but seriously, I said I would commit to working on the game, so what have I actually gotten done? I swear I put in 60 hours of work on the game over the last 3 weeks, so I better have accomplished something. Alright, so here's what I actually got done. I've added the power up and power down mechanics to the game, so that means that units can turn on and turn off. That takes care of 2 of the smaller items on the list, since I did that for the ground units and the air units. Interior cockpit geometry is in place, as well as the code to make it appear and disappear when you go from interior to exterior view. We now have a proper cockpit view for the tripod mech, so that's pretty cool. I'm really liking how you can see the legs moving around as you walk. It gives a great feeling of immersion. Looking forward to having proper cockpit views for the rest of the units. You might have noticed from the footage I just showed that I have improved the user interface a little bit. The reticle now has a smaller component. You see the little circle? That indicates direction of movement. And of course, we've added some weapons UI. You can now see all of your weapon hardpoints. You can see the equipped weapons. You can see the weapon cooldown. You can see the weapon minimum and maximum ranges. As well, now you can assign hardpoints to different weapon groups, and you can cycle through the hardpoints within those weapon groups, and of course you can cycle between the weapon groups. And now, you can choose between 3 different firing modes for each of the weapon groups. Single fire is the default. You can see it represented by one little pip on the indicator. This mode cycles through the hardpoints each time you fire, moving within a single weapon group 1 hardpoint at a time. Group fire is going to be very useful. You can see it is represented by 3 lit pips. Group fire allows you to fire all of your weapons within a single group all at the same time. The third firing mode, we're calling it group chain fire. You can see it's represented by 3 pips that are all connected together. Now, this weapon mode might need a little bit more explanation. If you only have one weapon group set to group chain fire, then it's going to work exactly the same way that group fire does. However, if you have 2 or more groups set to group chain fire, then after you fire every weapon in the weapon group, the selected weapon group is going to automatically switch to the next group, which has been set to group chain fire. Having these 3 firing modes should give you plenty of options for how you want to pilot your war machines, and being able to set up your own weapon groups is important so that you can use them the way that you want to. Alright, so over the last 3 weeks, some good progress was made. I didn't get around to some of the stuff that I had planned to do, and I did get distracted with a few important extra pieces that I hadn't really expected to be working on just yet. So there's one more big thing I worked on, and that's what I want to talk about next. I wrote an entirely new AI system. So the previous AI system was obviously just a placeholder. I threw it together in one afternoon just so I could get the game feeling more alive and to give me a little bit more fun target practice while testing out all the new systems. The new AI system is modular. It allows me to quickly and easily add new AI states, actions, behaviors, and ways for the AI units to understand their surroundings. On top of this, it will also make debugging weird and wonky AI behavior a lot faster and easier, so I'm looking forward to that. As a rather large side benefit of the new AI system, this new system is actually twice as efficient as the previous one, so that means that the game should be able to handle roughly double the number of active AIs running at the same time. There's still a lot of room for optimization and code improvements, but those will have to wait until the AI is closer to a finished state, so I don't spend too much time optimizing temporary code, which can be a little bit of a waste. Okay, so that we're all on the same page, let me tell you straight up. The AI system needs a lot of work. When it is finished, it's going to need to work on several different levels of gameplay. There's the unit level, and on this level, each unit should be aware of its surroundings. It should be reacting to stimuli and achieving its personal goals like finding a target to shoot at, navigating terrain to get where it wants to go, maybe supporting nearby allies when it sees an opportunity. On the next level up, there's the group level. And at this level, the AI should understand which units it should remain close to. It should try not to bump into other units. You can imagine a lance of mechs sticking close so they can support each other, but not running into each other or getting in each other's line of fire, or perhaps a squadron of VTOLs that are flying together in formation. On the highest level of the AI, we have the strategic component. Now, this part of the AI needs to be aware of overall battlefield goals, like, I really need to keep this unit alive, or I can win the game if I destroy the enemy dropship. These sorts of things are going to be very important for making the AI work together as a cohesive whole. As well as this, the AI is going to need to be able to adapt to changing tactical situations. For example, assigning new goals to individual units or groups of units so that the AI is able to achieve its objectives. This ties into the player AI as well. So all of the player units that aren't currently being piloted by the player are going to be using the same AI system. An important feature that is going to be added as a new system in the game later is going to give the player an ability to give strategic commands to their fighting forces, and it is the same AI system that's going to be used carrying out those commands as is going to be used to carry out the strategic AI's commands. Now, while it is a work in progress, the new AI system is working quite well. However, there were a few odd bugs that needed to be ironed out. Alright, so now when the player switches from controlling one unit to another, the AI is able to step in and take control of the vacated units. So that's a little bit of a step in the right direction. However, this has led to my newest headache. The built-in Unity character controller. It's been great while it lasted. It allowed me to build and test many game systems without worrying about the physics system messing with the player movement system. However, it is completely hopeless for the VTOL air units, and it has many other limitations besides. Here, just look at it wiggling the heck out. It refuses to move properly in this situation. After spending a full day debugging and working on this particular weirdness, I have come to an important conclusion. Rest in peace, character controller. We hardly knew ye. I'm going to need to create my own character controller in order to handle collision detection and unit movement. I expect that it'll take me a day or two to get this working properly, but that's the next thing on my agenda before I can continue with improving the AI system. Okay, here's something that I would appreciate your feedback on. So far, for weapon archetypes, our game has ballistic weapons, beam weapons, projected energy weapons, and I'm planning to add guided and unguided missile weapons for the next devlog. What I want to know is what weapon systems you've found fun and interesting from your favorite games, and if there are any particular combat roles that you can imagine playing around with. Anyways, I'll update you with the next devlog when I have some interesting progress to show. I'll be aiming for a new devlog once a month. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in the loop. If there's enough interest, then I'll try to update more often. If you have any fun ideas for the game or for these devlogs, feel free to leave me suggestions in the comments below. Alright, until next time.